In the time it takes to watch this video, another Jamaican life may be lost to violence. Every 8 hours on average, someone in Jamaica is murdered. A paradise known for its pristine beaches, vibrant culture, and warm smiles is now grappling with a crisis that threatens to tear apart its very fabric. This is the story of Jamaica's battle against crime, a fight for the soul of a nation. Imagine a place where children fear to play outside, where businesses struggle under the weight of high security costs, and where families are torn apart daily by senseless violence. This isn't the plot of a crime thriller. This is the reality for many Jamaicans today. Welcome to a sobering look at Jamaica's crime problem. Brace yourselves for some hard truths. Prepare for a crucial conversation and get ready to be part of the change that Jamaica desperately needs. Let's start with a recent tragedy that shook the nation to its core. In Clarendon, a small community, Cherry Tree Lane, became the scene of unimaginable horror. 17 people shot, 8 lives lost. Among them, a 7-year-old boy, his future stolen in an instant. A woman cradled her dying husband in her arms, powerless to save him.
Understand that this is a different level of criminality. You can only describe this as an act of terror. It wasn't carried out by someone who is mentally ill or someone with a social vendetta. This was carried out in the pursuit of a criminal vendetta. It is the use of violence in support of the entrenchment of the power of the gang.
This isn't just another news story. This is Jamaica's reality, and it's time to face it head-on. You might be thinking, but surely this is just an isolated incident. I wish it were. But the cold, hard facts tell a different story. Every year, more than 1,000 people are murdered in Jamaica. Let that sink in for a moment. 1,000 lives, 1,000 families shattered, 1,000 dreams cut short. But it gets worse. Jamaica has the highest murder rate in the Western Hemisphere. Not just the Caribbean, not just Latin America, but the entire Western Hemisphere. To put this in perspective, let's look at some recent statistics from Latin America and the Caribbean. In 2023, Jamaica's homicide rate was about 52.9 per 100,000 inhabitants. Compare this to Venezuela, 40.4 per 100,000. Honduras, 35.1 per 100,000. Trinidad and Tobago, 33.5 per 100,000. Mexico, 25.2 per 100,000. Even Brazil, often portrayed as violent in international media, had a rate of 19.5 per 100,000 in 2022. These numbers aren't just statistics. They represent real people, real lives, real communities torn apart by violence. Now, it's easy to point fingers, to blame the police, the government, the Prime Minister, the Minister of National Security. And yes, they all have crucial roles to play. But here's a hard truth we need to swallow. This isn't just their problem. It's our problem. All of us. So, where's the outrage? Where's the national coalition against these wanton murders? Why aren't we taking to the streets, demanding change, refusing to let criminals hijack our beautiful island? Are we just going to cower in fear? Allow a minority to terrorize the majority? Let criminals make us prisoners in our own homes? No, we can't. We won't. It's time to push back. It's time to make criminals uncomfortable in Jamaica instead of them making us uncomfortable in our bedrooms, living rooms, kitchens, and bathrooms. But how? How do we, as ordinary Jamaicans, fight back against this tide of violence? First, we need to understand that silence is complicity. Every time we turn a blind eye, every time we say, "It's not my problem," we're giving criminals permission to continue. Second, we need to build stronger communities. Know your neighbors. Look out for each other. Report suspicious activities. Create neighborhood watch programs all across the island. This is part of the coalition that is needed now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, not next year. Now. Third, we need to demand more from our leaders. Not just empty promises, but concrete actions. Understand that this is not a JLP or a PNP problem. We must increase the police presence in high-crime areas, and where necessary, provide better equipment and training for law enforcement men and women. We must develop programs, or better ones, to keep young people out of gangs. The private sector's STAR program is a good start. Let's accelerate it. Fourth, we need to address the root causes of crime. Is it poverty? Is it a lack of education? Is it unemployment, especially among young people? These aren't excuses for criminal behavior, but they are fertile ground for it to grow. We need to support programs that give people alternatives to crime.
Things that we are dealing with are highly resourced. They are not poor. They are not struggling for money. They operate as an enterprise. They have structure, they have leadership, and they have systems and rules. And I want you to also bear in mind that they operate on intelligence. They study our police force, they use information operations, they use our banking system, they use our telecommunication system, they use social media. They are well structured and well organized. And what they do is that they entrench themselves in communities and take advantage of poor, dispossessed youth. They give them guns, they use them as lookouts, they use them to commit crimes. They use the term, they lock the area. The entrenchment of this kind of organized armed violence is a threat not just to the communities in which they exist, it is a threat to the very stability of the state.
Understand that every great change in history started with ordinary people deciding enough was enough. The abolition of slavery, women's right to vote, the civil rights movement. None of these happened overnight, and none of them happened without sacrifice and struggle and political gains. But now, this crime wave threatens to erode all of that progress. We can't let that happen. We won't let that happen. Imagine a Jamaica where children can play freely in the streets, where businesses can thrive without fear of extortion or high security costs, where tourists flock to our shores, knowing they're safe, where we can truly say, this is the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. This isn't just a dream. It can be our reality, but only if we make it happen. So, what's the next step? It starts right here, right now, with you. Yes, you. Share this video. Start conversations with your friends, family, and co-workers. Join or create community organizations dedicated to fighting crime. Write to your representatives. Demand action. Be the change you want to see. And most importantly, don't give up hope. Jamaica is more than its crime rate. We are a nation of resilient, creative, passionate people. We've overcome challenges before, and we can do it again. The future of Jamaica is in our hands. It's time to take it back from the criminals. It's time to make Jamaica safe again. Are you ready to join the fight? Remember, the comment section below isn't just for likes and shares. It's a platform for your voice. Share your ideas. Let us know what you think needs to be done. Let's start a national conversation that can't be ignored. Together, we can crush this problem. Together, we can save Jamaica. Thank you for watching. Now, let's get to work.